dude. Careful. Did you forget?
Realist Podcast. Welcome to the You Are Here podcast. This is episode 149 of the podcast. You know where to find the podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube video, Anchor.fm, www.youarehere.co. Cannot afford the M. Formosa hot sauce. FormosaSauce.com. That's where you get the hot sauce, the realest sauce for the realest podcast. Vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, every free, tasty as hell. All the different flavors you got. It's family recipe. FormosaSauce.com. Go get yourself some.
Valino's Meat Market Steakhouse, Wayne, New Jersey. You're looking for the New York steak.
This is amazing.
Don't laugh during the ads, dude.
Sorry, this is just so epic.
Valino's Meat Market Steakhouse, Wayne, New Jersey. You want the New York experience, right? But you don't want to go into the city. You don't want to sit in the traffic on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? You can pass all that up. Head into Wayne, New Jersey, Berdan Ave. Valino's Meat Market Steakhouse. It's the family restaurant. I'll see you there.
Yes.
Best chops of meat.
I'll meet you there.
Try the cream cauliflower. I say it every week. You won't be disappointed.
Shout out to the patrons on Patreon. Patreon.com/YouAreHerePod. We love you guys. You're on the screen right now. We appreciate you guys. It's the best way to support us. If you guys are rocking with what we're doing, go support us there, man. You get Omega Live. We're about to do another one.
Yep.
It's a good time. We're back. Welcome back. Welcome home.
We're back. Thanksgiving's over.
Yes.
We're back.
Happy Thanksgiving. We
Welcome
didn't say it last time
Nope.
because we're just bad people.
Nope. We just forgot.
We hope it was good.
It was before. We recorded before. But we're here now. We have another guest today.
I'm excited, honestly.
We
We already had a great talk.
We've had a whole experience.
We could have had another podcast, but let's just say what we did before the podcast.
Okay, so let me introduce the guest. Today, if you're listening, you're in for a treat. Okay? She was our second guest ever.
Yes.
She hasn't been on the podcast in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's back. Victoria Ratermanis is
She's
here, ladies and
one
gentlemen.
of our top guests, to be honest.
Clap it up.
She. No claps.
Do my Foley.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming.
Tori, welcome back to the You Are Here podcast, the realest podcast in the game. How are you?
This is so cool and official now.
Yeah.
This is great.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. We're happy to have you.
I'm
Yes.
really, really
Can you explain
honored to be here.
what happened before we even started?
Yes. Dave Valino of You Are Here podcast was like, I have a surprise for you.
That's not how I talk. I never talk like
You were
that.
like, I have a surprise for you.
I've
I was
never
like,
spoken.
That sounds pretty close.
Yeah, right? I've never spoken like that. I don't know how to do it. I got to work on it. I'm a little rusty on it. Yeah.
I'll give you a
Okay.
pass.
Go to surprise.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
I love you. That's it.
Go to surprise.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
Never-
Oh, and the hand thing.
Seriously.
Dude, and the
Seriously.
hand
Listen
thing.
to me. Listen.
Shit.
Tori, don't fucking do that.
The hand thing.
That's not what I do.
It's so great.
The
I
hand
love
thing.
it. That's totally what you do. That's like why are you so upset? Because your impression is someone being like, I love you. Like being a good friend is an impression of you.
No, but like
Some people do impressions are like, ooh, like they like make fun of the person. My only impression of you is that you're a loving person.
I've gotten something
Like
like
this is
that
an impression of Dave boxing. He's like,
See, that's a mean impression.
see, that's a mean impression.
You know that's false, and you know that.
Yeah, he hit me, and I have a bruise now.
Did you bruise? I'm sorry. I still, I think
told
about
him
that.
to.
I
I
still
told
feel
him
really
to.
bad.
You told
I
him
told
to
him
hit
to.
you?
Yeah, he
What's
asked me
going
to.
on?
I always joke about it, but then he actually.
He actually did it.
I said
kidding, I'm
20
just kidding.
times.
You asked him
I'm
as
just
a
kidding.
friend. He'll do anything for his friends.
Yeah, true.
There you go. Character
But
flaws.
No,
Dave?
great thing about you.
Dave's got a
Thank
jab.
you.
Dave's got a
Yeah.
jab. Just saying.
But be real. But before Tori gets into it,
Okay, yeah.
be real. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Be real about the job.
I'm gonna be real.
Be honest.
I'm pretty sure you can watch it. It happened on stream.
But be honest.
It was. You could see my face. I
Dude.
watched it back in
Did
slow
it
motion.
really-
I went like.
Did it take the air
I
out of
literally
you?
was like.
And I went 50%.
I got surprised.
I went 50%.
I got
Yeah, you've been
surprised.
training.
but he didn't believe it. He always makes fun.
No. I don't. I believe it, but
But
I
you
just
hit him
wanted
in
to.
the chest. You didn't hit him in the
I hit,
arm.
he wanted it in
I
the
was
in
like-
the
I was like,
this
"Give it right
side
here."
or the right side.
So
The
you
right
can stop
side.
my heart.
Yeah, what? That's the craziest place to be asked to punch.
I don't know.
But
I'd
I
be
leave
like, give me in the meat.
the meat,
Give it to me in the meat.
dude. I went 50%. I'm not trying to brag, but I heard you go.
I'm not gonna. It dazed me, honestly. It woke me up.
It shook you up.
It woke me up.
God.
It shook you up.
Yeah.
Dave's got some weapons.
Yeah,
But Tori,
you've been training and you're like 6'3". Like, what the hell? It'd be
feels
different if
good.
it was like my like 5-foot grandmother
Totally,
who's like,
totally.
I've been training as a
training.
boxer. I'd be like, oh, let me hear it, grandma. Like, that would be surprising. But look at how he's built. You were like shocked that he could hit.
I just, yeah,
I'm an athlete, dude.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm an athlete?
I was shocked.
Yeah. Okay, Tori.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is going to be the rest of the podcast of us starting an idea.
No.
And then just digressing.
It's your hair podcast.
Okay.
It goes anywhere.
That's my favorite part. It's a real conversation. We watched for the first time for me in like
How long?
when did we go to that festival?
Like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
We watched the Rose Garden
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
before this. I watched my 26-year-old self
And how did it feel?
pretend to know what she's doing.
Come on.
That was entertaining.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
I'm sweating profusely.
After watching it.
It was also crazy because like in my mind I'm like, I remember everything. Like I
Yeah.
really tried to like remember, and I remember us rehearsing it. I remember what it was like in my life around that time.
Yeah.
I remember like that weekend. I remember us being there. I remember certain moments, but there was other things in there. I was like, I do not remember this at all, which was kind of crazy. And I almost forgot about, this is like only Marina's going to get this. I forgot about like the hair timeline in there. Like we really sold it because I have 3 different hairstyles.
haircuts.
So you really see us go through the gambit of life. But it was like such a weird transitional time. Like I'm so critical. I get why everyone loved that film. And I think it really is like such a relatable topic. I think everyone's scared of making the right or wrong decision. And I think ships passing in the night is such a like universal thing. So congrats. But I can't get over my speaking voice in that film.
You've
You're
been
hard on
ripping
yourself.
your
You're hard on
voice.
It's like when you watch a childhood video, and in my mind, as a 5-year-old, I was like, "Hello, mother." Like I would talk, and I like watch. I'm like, "Hello, mom," and I like talk like like crazy. You're like, "Whoa, that's how my voice sounded." And then I'm watching this. I'm like, "Hey, like, do you want to?"
You
I
don't
can't
sound
believe
like
like
that.
I'm like, "Oh gosh, I
You're hard
gotta
on
take
yourself.
this phone call."
clip
Like
that
it's so
and then-
crazy.
and then go listen to the movie and you put it side by side.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Do that voice again.
Oh, I gotta take this.
Yeah. That's how you sounded. You're just the most. We're the most critical on ourselves watching our.
Yeah, of course,
Always.
of course.
But it's cool to go back and be like, we were 26.
Yeah,
We came together. We're like, we're gonna tell the best short
we're
film.
such serious actors.
Dude, we believed it,
Oh yeah.
and that's
I thoroughly believed it. Like I said, there was like, you know, like as much as I'm entangling myself
with the cord. Or?
with the cord with my mind, there were a lot of moments in there where I was like, ugh, like I could recognize like how far I've come as an artist and an actor and even a filmmaker too. Like we were watching and we're like, whoa, like this is weird how we set this up. Like, but it's like, you know, it's a great learning experience. Like you make things to learn.
Yeah.
You make things to share your story, but you make things to learn because you're like, can I do this? Like, let's try.
Yeah.
But
that was the first thing you guys.
Yeah.
Is that when you guys met too, or
That's when we got to know each other.
that's
Yeah,
what,
when you really got to
that's
know
what
each
we were
other.
talking about before we started recording. Where I was like, you know,
You gotta be on Patreon for that kind of content. You know what I mean?
VIP holiday
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get your
Cyber
tickets
Monday.
now. Yeah, Cyber Monday tickets for behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You Are Here podcast.
Yeah. Rose Garden.
The pre-podcast conversation.
Pre-pot combos. It gets dark, you know?
Yeah, it gets really dark. We talked about some raw.
Some raw stuff. Raw stuff.
But yeah.
Okay.
moving on?
Moving on. What was I saying?
Where we got to know each other.
Watching that movie, I got really. Anyone who's watched any of Dave's film knows that you'll end up crying no matter what. because he's a trickster like that. He's like a magician. He's like, la, 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 heartbreak. And then you're like in a theater sobbing into your mask, sweating, and you're like, oh my God. Like, and that's what you do with your movies, which is great.
I don't want to do that.
No, but it's so real. But that's why people watch dramas, because they're like, I want to feel something.
Yeah,
like it's like a hit.
Yeah.
But watching that was really like, I mean, we said this before, but like it, like as much as these two people were reflecting on their love, I was reflecting on us like falling in love as friends. Like I was thinking about all the conversations we had in those like scenes where we're just like walking or like chasing each other, and how funny it was, and like that we got to know each other through this film, and like here we are 31 years of age
crying at a bar
because I'm moving to LA.
That's why right there.
And now you heard it. You're moving to LA.
Yeah, I'm going west for gold.
She's going west.
And we had to get you in here.
Yeah.
We had to get you in here before you left.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you taking the time.
I apologize for anyone who I jumped in line.
You jumped a few people.
I feel like you guys are really in demand, so I feel really lucky that you fit me in before I left.
We are in demand.
Yeah.
But you're an OG, and that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Everyone backs.
I know. I feel bad. I'm like thinking about, I'm like, wonder who I cut.
You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see. But you're VIP.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, how do you...
Can I?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
You can't.
You go ahead.
You started first.
Exactly.
I like these jeans.
How do you... how do you feel about moving to LA? Like, because that's across the country.
It is. America's very big.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
That's not a one-day drive. That's a multi...
No. That's like a choice. I'm making an active choice to go very far away from my comfort zone.
From me and Mikey.
I feel like a really mixed bag. I was telling Dave in the car, for those followers of the podcast who don't know,
There's many.
I grew up moving every 2 or 3 years as a kid. Like even when we were posted in the States or even when we were posted overseas, like I never had a home, and I've never had a hometown, and I've never had a place that's full of my things. And I'm in the process of packing up 11 years of my life, and it's really, really insane. And there's like a part of me that's like, this is big. Like, remember when you were growing and you had growing pains and your legs hurt and you're like laying in bed being like, I'm miserable. Like, what the hell? And then the next day you'd be literally taller. Like this is a thing that you're going through, and it's great and it's beautiful, and you're taking this big jump for yourself. But I am like experiencing, I think, what people, I said this in the car, like I think I'm experiencing what people experienced when they were like 18 and went to college, where I'm like very emotional about leaving my home. And I also have realized that like I am great at adapting because I always had like my adapting tools. And right now I can't take them with me. I just hit the mic. I can't take like all my stuff with me. And I'm the opposite of Marie Kondo. Like everything is important to me. Every single book I have ever touched is a part of my blood, and like
just look at my place, like that is me. Like
like your place is immaculate and it's so nice.
Everything means something.
But my place would be 52 more plants or 51 more plants, 800 million more books, thousands of little tchotchkes from like my time of like being a little kid in Germany up until recently. Like I just am realizing that like I'm really good at moving, but I'm not allowed to move the way I used to move, and it's freaking me out. It's really freaking me out. But I'm like, I know like once I get there and I land and like my cat and I have made it safely, they'll be like, okay, here, new place, you know how to do this, you're capable, this is exciting, you have a lot of opportunities out here. But I'm like, I mean, I must have, I can't even explain like how like romantic I'm being with New York. Like I think I was always romantic about New York, but like riding my bike over the Williamsburg Bridge and just staring at the city and just like looking at it and like loving it and being like proud of it. I'm like it's my like greatest love. Like it's like really crazy. It's really like I chose to come here. Like since I was a little kid, I wanted to come to New York, and like everyone's always like, you can always go back. You can always come back. She'll always be here kind of thing. But I'm like, I've never left a home before. Yeah. I've never had a home. I've never left one before. And I'm 31. And I keep being like, this is fine. This is fine. And then I'm like, it must have taken me like 3 weeks just to buy a ticket because I couldn't decide on the right one and the right price and and I kind of just kept putting it off. And then I finally purchased it. Like my heart was like shaking and I was like sitting by myself in my living room, like pressing like, okay, like this seat. Okay. Bringing a cat. Yes. Okay. Select this. Yeah. Okay. One bag, two bags. And then like, as I'm doing it and I'm like shaking and I press like purchase, confirm. And it's like flight. Here's your date and arrival time. And I was like, like on my couch, like, like from the pit of my stomach was like, like sobbing to myself. So it's a mixed bag. That was such a long answer to such a short.
We want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
What's one thing you're like? I don't know if this is a good question. What's one thing you're hoping to get from LA?
Well, the first thing that popped into my head was myself. The second thing that popped into my head was success.
Myself succeeding.
Yourself is
Myself succeeding and not worrying about going to the dentist and like money.
Yeah.
But I think really like the one thing I am feeling in this like growing phase and like going and doing something for myself is like this, everyone's like, fall in love with yourself. And I'm like, I don't think I'm not in love with myself, but I do think that I'm like holding my hand and like jumping off a bridge right now and like knowing it's going to be okay. And it's like really scary when you're like getting up to like the edge of it and your heart starts to race and your stomach starts to drop. But then you know that like you're also tied to the bridge and you're going to fly back up. But like I'm holding hands like with myself being like, okay, like here we go.
Yeah.
Let's jump. Let's go together and do it. And like the idea of being out there with myself and my cat, my counterfeit god, Quinn, is exciting. My Quinn. Actual soul, like if something happened to her, I would have to be institutionalized.
Oh no.
I'm highly sentimental about everything that's mine.
Toys are harder.
I'm a really cozy, how would they describe it if it was like a shitty New York apartment? Like really lived in, cozy, intimate home.
Intimate, vibrant.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with all your stuff?
So I took some things to my mom's. I carried, I'm splitting my stuff between my parents and then I still have to think about what I'm going to do with my plants.
Oh.
That's really hard for me because some of them I've had for like 7 years.
I'll take a plant.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have. I truly have 52 plants, of variant sizes. Like I
might have to take a plant.
Yeah, I'll send you some photos.
He's got space.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice in here. Cool. You should fill it with plants.
We need. Yeah,
I know. I want to.
Yeah, and I have these ones that you can put on the wall that are like glass and like they're propagated, so I can teach you how to propagate them. You can just make
propagated
plants
my
from
monstera right there.
There you go.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it. Dude.
What's propagated?
We're plant people.
I'll show you a video after the podcast. I carried my typewriter to my mom because JetBlue's doing this thing now where you can't, like, if you're poor and you buy basic flights, you don't get a carry-on.
Oh yeah, no one's doing it anymore.
You get one personal item, which I was like, what does that mean? Like I literally called her. I was like, what is a personal item?
Yeah.
She was like one bag or book, something that fits underneath the chair and like doesn't have to go in the overhead space. I was like, so if I bring like a typewriter in my purse, she's like one item.
Wow.
And I sat there in my room and I got really upset because I was like, what am I gonna do with this typewriter? Like I kind of want my mom to bring it to me. Like, and I already have a giant box of stuff that I'm taking my dad's and I don't want to overwhelm him with all my stuff because my greatest fear is being a burden. Like domino effect. And then I'm like staring at the mirror being like, you're okay. And then I was like, one item. Okay. I'm going to take my 50-pound typewriter, put it into this large tote along with my laptop and book and wallet, and I will carry one item with me. And I was And like, luckily the security line moved really quickly during Thanksgiving. It was really crazy there. But I was just carrying this typewriter like on my shoulder, and then just like this
what a workout.
Huge typewriter, and like went through the TSA, and they were like, we're gonna have to check this. And I was like, it's a typewriter. And he's like, really? And I was like, really? And opening, he was like, whoa, what do you write? Do you write poems in this? What are you doing? And I'd be like, had an intimate conversation about writing. He's like, I haven't seen one of these since I was a little kid. And I was like, well, happy holidays. And I like got to the flight, I'm like sweating, and like no one knows how to walk, and like losing my mind in the airport, like walking crooked with a giant typewriter hidden in a tote, so I have one item. And then I like get on the plane. The lady in my row was like, is that an old typewriter? That's what that looks like. I was like, it is an old typewriter. And she's like, what are you doing with it? I was like, well, I write on it. And she was like, wow, that's amazing. I've seen one since I was like a little kid. And I was like, I know. She's like, where are you going to put that thing? And I was like, underneath this chair. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I like stuff the typewriter, barely fits underneath the seat. I put my laptop on my lap because I'm going to write on the flight. I put my water bottle on the thing, and I tie the tote around the front of the thing, and I stuff it underneath there. And then I sit for the whole flight like this.
Oh my God.
Writing. And they come by and they're like, do you need anything? I was like, no, I'm perfectly fine. I beat you.
Yeah.
But I'm perfectly fine. I beat you.
Yeah.
I conquered you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typewriters on the flight.
Yeah. Like I got off the plane and my brother, my giant brother picked me up, and I walk out and I was like, hey, here, grab the suitcase. And he's like, putting the suitcase in. And he's like, what's that? And I pull out the typewriter out of the tote. He's like, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, I carried this all the way from Brooklyn. And he was like, you're insane. He's like, that's so heavy. And I was like, but it's one item. Like I was like going to take it to my grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't going to lose.
No, not absolutely not. They're like one personal item. I was like, this is the most personal item I can bring on this flight, I think.
I love breaking the system like that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when they're doing
loopholes.
why can't you have a carry-on?
Dude, I don't get.
When did planes say we're not going to give that away anymore?
What's the most you've carried off a flight?
Oh,
dude.
Of a flight?
When I came back from Japan, when I studied abroad,
yeah.
I had 3 suitcases.
What?
2 bags. A blanket, a pillow, and like a backpack and a full set of clothes.
Why'd you have 3 suitcases?
Because I bought a bunch of stuff for people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I bought a suitcase of just gifts, and then I had 2 suitcases for like living.
That makes sense. Okay.
It was
I understand that.
insane. I don't know how they let me through. And I'm just like walking around, things are falling like for hours.
Wait, were you stuffing stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Stuffed them all up.
Really? You didn't pay for the
I didn't pay for extra luggage.
Were they my brain just
I'm telling you.
because I'm thinking about them being like one person item, me be like
Yeah. You have
like
a tote.
sweating and like walking crooked and like
Well, back then, like I had 2 suitcases you could check in, and you have one carry-on.
yes, and
But
then
I
a bag.
had a carry-on, and I bought something at the airport.
Yeah.
And then maybe I had another bag. I bought a lot at the
I
airport.
feel like they try to deter you.
Yeah,
But they're not
yeah,
going to be like, you can't come on the flight.
Well, because also other people get on the plane and like
They have all kinds of shit.
crazy ass amount of stuff. This lady had a suitcase that was a full size suitcase, and they stopped in security like, you have to go check that. And she's like, this is my carry on. They were like, that's a full size suitcase. Like people try to get with crazy. Like this lady had this one suitcase that was so big it couldn't fit. So then she started taking stuff out and just putting it loosely next to it. And I was like, okay, this is insane. Like you should have just checked that. Like that's great. Like I fit a typewriter underneath my seat. Like why are you unpacking your suitcase and then packing it like it's your dresser drawer in the overhead compartment? It was wild.
I love seeing people that like
watching people at the airport. Oh my god,
dude! When they sit in the seat and that's not their seat.
Yeah.
Because it's got more leg room, and then the stewardess is
they're
like,
looking around like,
"Excuse me, sir,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to move. That's not your. Let me see your ticket."
Yeah.
You know, and the guy's like, "Come on." I can't tell you how many times I've seen them argue over like 6 inches of leg room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta eat that. You know, if you didn't.
It's like a weird point of pride. Like I've realized recently I've been like really fascinated with like what people do in order to be right and to like hold on to that. And it's just like we were like on the flight. It was already like a half an hour delayed. It's Thanksgiving week. Like we're all like, let's go. Let's just, the stewardess are like, okay, flight 73 of today. Like they look good, but like they're tired. And like, this is like a morning flight. And they board us like that. Like I was like really impressed. We're all sit down, like putting on my seatbelt, like we're about to take off. I'm like, oh my God, that was really fast. And like, we're sitting there and like, they're going through things like, okay, we're trying to pull out. So if everyone could just take their seat. And I'm like kind of listening to it. And I'm like, what do they keep saying? Take your seat. And I turn around and there's one man with his headphones in, just like slowly taking out a laptop. He's the only person standing. Everyone's looking at him on the flight. And like, yeah, if everyone could just take their seats, then we could leave because we're already running behind. So if you could just take your seat, then we could leave. And the guy's just like with his headphones on, like, oh, do I want my sweater? I don't know. And the lady walks over. She's like, sir, hi, can you sit down? And instead of being like, oh, I'm so sorry, he goes, well, I can't sit down because this lady's here.
I can't sit.
I have to wait for her to move to sit down. You're telling me to sit down, and I have to wait for her to stand up. Like, got mad at the stewardess. I was like, bro, we're waiting on you. Yeah. You're in the wrong.
One person holding up like 80 people.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving week, I was like, dude, like, take your AirPods out and get with the system. Like, let's go. Yeah.
Those kinds of like events that I'm trying so hard. To like talk to myself in those moments and be like, I know it's super disrespectful. I know it's careless. I know. But I can't correct that person because I'm not that person.
God, you're such a good person.
But I didn't. This weekend,
like, I want to be in charge.
This weekend, I went to Camelback Resorts with Lena. It's like this little mountain lodge.
Is that where you saw the horses, the animals?
That's next door to my in-laws' house.
Oh, all right. Just another ranch.
It's like
Didn't invite
in your
me.
life, yeah.
Don't do that. You didn't invite me to wherever you went to eat. Sushi. What was it?
Huh?
What was the place?
Keep talking.
Dog food. What was it called?
Keep talking.
I'm at this resort and we're going on a mountain coaster. Like it's called an Alpine like roller. It's like a one-seater.
Like the wooden one?
Yes.
Like a roller coaster, or it's like
it's
a scenic...
like a rail. Like you go up a mountain. Literally, it's one cart, one person. It's like you're
Is it
sitting.
the one where you control it?
Yes, and you
I
have
love
brakes.
that shit.
And you go down the side of it. Was.
I love that shit.
The best.
Cool.
I had so much fun.
Where is this?
It's in Pennsylvania.
I don't know they had it in
It's
America.
it's only.
I used to do it in Poland all the time.
Yeah, they're all over the place. It's an hour and a half away from here. So I just drove, and dude, we get there. I'm like at the front of the line. Our appointment's at 12:30. We're getting on the ride, like scheduled. I'm there, ready, excited, best mood. Guy comes out of he works there, and he's this younger dude, and he goes, now they're pumping snow onto the mountain at the same time, so the fake snow.
Okay.
So you just hear like behind everywhere the whole time.
Wow, how scenic.
Yeah, super scenic.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, and he's past your kitchen. He's fucking 20 yards in the other direction. Okay. He goes, where's your appointment? And I'm like, what? I'm sorry. I say, I'm sorry. It's like really nice, real respectful, super nice tone, even nicer than that.
Yeah.
And he goes, what time is your appointment? Like screams it. I mean, fucking so loud. Like hollers it. And a part of me just cracked and I couldn't talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
So I snapped before I could like go through it.
Yeah.
And I just screamed as loud as I fucking could in his direction with the hand thing and the like 12:30 and like spit's flying out of my mouth and like I was freaking out. And he just
him.
And he turned around and he just walked back in. He's like, it's gonna take 5 more minutes. And then like and I felt terrible about it. I ruined the day.
Of course, you don't want to get sucked into it.
I just ruined the day. Lena is like, why?
But it's so annoying when people are so rude.
Just don't do that. You don't know what a person's going through. Don't do that.
But they don't know what you're going through too.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I really tried to approach each person. Even if people are being mad rude to me, I'm like, okay, you're stressed.
Yeah.
But no one does that shit to me. People just talk to me however they think they can talk to me. This lady today, I went in line to get a COVID test because I'm going, hopefully, depending on this variant, going to Canada on Wednesday. And I walk into the pharmacy's a buzz. There's so many people. I'm like, whoa, this is really crazy. I walk in, there's there's a line going this way and a line going in the back hallway. And I walk up to the lady in front of me. Oh, hey, are you in line to get a COVID test? Is this a line for COVID testing? She goes, yeah. And turns back around.
It's fucking nasty.
Inside my body, it went
yeah.
But outside, I was like, thank you.
Oh.
But it's those things that I'm like, bro, what? I get it. You're tired and it's hot in this pharmacy, but we're in this together.
Yeah. It's like
Only.
it's just a courtesy. It's just the bare minimum for being like a human amongst other humans.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pleasant because I don't know you.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
And like the same thing happened like yesterday. I'm now realizing how rude people are to me. Wow. Yesterday I also was spoken to really rudely, and I was like, or I guess Saturday, because I just got back. I got a 6 a.m. flight from Florida.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta hit the ground running. Like I gotta turn in this like action summary for my script today, and then I gotta get groceries, and I'm like, I'm gonna like go through the day.
Yeah.
And I call Walgreens. They put me on hold to something that I think is like limbo. Like it's not real hold. Like I'm just existing somewhere.
There's no music.
Because
there's
when
nothing.
I called back again after being on hold for 40 minutes, it was different hold music. And then someone picked up in like 5 minutes. And I was like, I got lost in like the Matrix. And then I'm like, hey, like I'm just refilling a prescription, go through the whole thing. I'm like, how long do you think it would be? She's like an hour. I was like, okay, so I should come like within the hour. She's like, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I'm like, all right, get groceries, get my Secret Santa present, go do this. I'm like, it's been like 45, 50 minutes. Maybe I'll just go check. So I'm right outside of Walgreens. I walk in, I wait in line. This guy looks at me. I'm like, hello. And I walk up to the counter and I'm like, I can tell it's busy. I go, hey, I'm picking up, but I just want to see if it's ready because I called in. I'm just like finishing up my errands. And she was like, name, and like does the whole thing, birthday, and I'm like, she's like, I told you to come in an hour. She's like, it's not ready. You can sit. And I just went, I'm gonna come back tomorrow. And then I just left because I was like, dang, we're not doing
We're not gonna do this today
right now. But I was like, damn, dude, like, why you not talking? Like, I get it, you're tired. Like, I have people do crazy shit when I'm working. I'm exhausted. And I'm like,
but it
making,
doesn't
like, 4
give you a
things.
pass.
Yeah, but like, what the hell?
I think it's a thing too where it's like you think I can't hop this little fence right here and get to you. You
That's
think
what you
because
think.
you work
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and I'm a customer
Yeah.
that I can't just fucking hop this and deal with you as a human to human.
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm like, you don't recognize that I'm also a human being.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm something else to you, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what I am
Yeah.
to you, but like,
Am I a number?
You
Am
don't
I just
like it.
just a
you don't like it.
it's a silly thing, but it's not. If you dissect it, I'm telling you,
I think kind of it's
take
like,
your time and dissect it.
Yeah.
When you have the next encounter with somebody, I'm not saying you should go out there and fight people, but like there's
Fight people.
There's a
Fight people for Christmas.
there's a real lack.
If you want to punch hard like Dave, go fight people.
And you better train hard. You know what I'm saying? Do you have a jug?
Do you
have
pee
your-
every 2
Do you
seconds?
pee every
just got
30
that today,
minutes?
dude. Calm
Just
down.
got it today. But it's real.
I do think there's 2 types of people though.
What 2 types
People
of
that
people? Like,
they go red, and others that can like.
what do you have to say?
It can
dude?
happen.
Dude, what do you have
Yeah.
to
I'm
say?
not saying either or is right or wrong.
Be real
yeah.
about it.
I'm just saying like when someone is just like an asshole to me.
Yeah.
Like
What do you do?
I don't know why I can like just take it and be like,
Of course.
wow, damn.
Because you're better than
I'm like, okay, no, it's
'Cause
not.
you're-
It's not. I
you're-
just said it's not right or wrong or better or worse.
you're a better person.
No, it's not.
Hmm.
But
Do you have a problem with injustice?
yes,
Because I have a fucking problem with injustice.
I have a problem. And, like if it's something that's like that,
Yeah.
I can think of it as, oh, they're having a shit day.
Yeah.
Whatever they're putting it out on.
Right.
But if it's like something actually like being done wrong to people,
Yeah.
then that's where I'm like,
speak
all
up.
right,
See,
this
like-
is where I go red.
I don't like it when people don't slow down at a stop sign. I'm in the fucking crosswalk. Have the human decency to not intimidate another human being with
Yeah.
their livelihood
Yeah.
and their mortality and slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Or don't pull through. The amount of times that I've like hit the front of a car because they've almost hit me because they're just pulling through thinking I'll move for them.
Yeah.
That's, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like, that bothers
That's
me.
the
And that's why
injustice thing.
we want to fight people.
Yeah, I
and
feel
you're
that.
like, that's your problem, sir. Go on with your life. And I'm like, I gotta be the boss of everything because if I was in charge, then everyone would treat each other nice because I would have all the rules and everyone would follow the rules.
And that's where I'm wrong. It's I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah, I'm gonna control it. Like I wish I could take pictures of people's license plates and report them
Yeah, that'd be sick.
for like
honestly.
almost
do that.
running me over and just like pulling through a crosswalk. A crazy obsession that I
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
absolutely insane, but it affects me like
You have
right here.
You have a book of license plates.
Yeah. And I'm like,
black
this
book.
motherfucker,
Yeah.
X31943.
Got him.
I see you. I don't know if that's a license plate. I've never owned a car.
Have you ever like been one of those situations, but like you were in the wrong, but you,
Oh, yeah.
but you overpowered the wrong?
Yes.
I love that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
No, because
Wait,
you know
have you done that? I want to
Yeah.
hear yours.
One
Tell me,
time
tell me.
it was so me and this one car, we were at an intersection in the around the city where I live, not New York, but other side. And there's like an intersection, and we both get to it, and like I kind of like roll out, a little bit more quicker than he does, but he's still rolling. And like he beeps, gets out this car, and starts screaming, and I was like, fuck, because I knew I was wrong, but then I rolled down the road, I'm like, fuck you, dude, fuck you. I freaked the fuck out, and I was about to get out of my car, and he was like, oh my god,
yeah, you got out crazy,
and he got back in. That's and then technique. After I was like, I drove away. I was like, wow, like that was crazy.
That was insane, dude.
I felt
you surprised yourself. Yeah.
Did you feel alive afterwards?
Yeah, I was like, I gotta do this more.
I gotta have a fight club in my basement. That's amazing. Dude, you surprise yourself.
This is how things work.
Yeah. This is what happens when you go crazy.
I convince myself, like, if I'm in the wrong, that like if they but that's the thing. If you are getting out of your car, oh, now you messed up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like you crossed the line. Mm-hmm. I may have made a mistake.
But you took it to
the way you handled it.
And here we are because of you, not at all to do with
I have nothing. I'm just I'm in response to you.
I'm a human being. I make mistakes, and you took it to a different level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And now you're hurt because of you.
And now you're hurt.
This is your.
You want to hear the most like bitch part of that roller coaster story, dude?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So the guy disappears after I scream at him. Mm-hmm. Just disappears
because you terrified him.
I don't know what I did. The new person comes out, puts me in the little thing again, like a little kid, and I'm fucking.
Yeah, that's the most bitch part. You're literally.
I'm in a cart.
Now imagine I'm in a little cart. I'm in a little sled-like cart on a little rail.
And he presses the go button.
It has little handbrakes on it. I got right.
I win.
And I get to the top. You get fucking 8 minutes of climbing the mountain, and then you get to the top. And as I'm rolling around, you go past this little shack, and like he's there. It's just me,
and he's like that.
And I'm strapped in, and I'm up there, and he's up there, and we just.
He's looking at you in a tin can,
dude, and he's so disgusted with me, and I'm so like embarrassed, and like we just look at each other as I'm rolling by, and then the car. Just go. That was it. I didn't say anything. He didn't say anything.
Oh my god.
What is the shack? He's just checking on you.
He's supposed to say, I think, put the brakes down, but he didn't say anything to me. It's so bad.
That was part of that
but
ride
that was the universe.
because you guys were fighting.
That was God saying,
you guys were in a fight.
This is how silly you are.
Yeah.
For that exchange. And now you're gonna have this weird encounter where you're in a little baby seat, strapped
in a tin can.
Yeah.
On
just
a track.
little baby
like
cart.
a little kid going.
And he's gonna stare at from up here. He's gonna look down on you, literally.
Where children go, wee.
He didn't say a word. Oh man, we mess up. We're human. We're growing.
We're human.
We have therapy. We have a lot going on.
We're paying for therapy.
Well, you know what, Tori?
Yeah.
I prepared some stuff today to talk about.
I thought you were like, it's over. I'm like, oh no.
It's over. Well, it's interesting. Anger. You say it's over.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay. So life, being what it is, I've been, with the news and going back watching Rose, like my head's, all over the place with like chapters of life. And we talked about this in the car. And I said, dang, what makes, okay, let me just read it. So you're born alone and you die alone, right? Like that's a part of life. Like that's
one way to look at it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Yet so much of our lives are shaped by the people we connect with, right? Like you connect with somebody and then your life, the path, the destiny, whatever, goes in one direction and enriches in some way, good, bad, otherwise, you know. But it's who we interact with. Is like what I'm noticing is like how your life is shaped for a majority of the time, and then, for whatever reason, like people diverge, and then a new chapter of life begins, and then you change, and the quality of your life changes, and the decorations are different, and so. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think because of this big news and going back talking about how our friendship started and stuff, it made me investigate. Like, oh wow, this is why I'm feeling so much like, oh, this chapter's over, because it's over, And I have to accept that. And I had much feelings about that, you know. I cried like a baby at your birthday. I cried like a baby. And, but it's because, you know, it's for many reasons. But one of the major reasons was selfishly, like, that part of my life was so enriched and I enjoyed it so much. And now I'm 31 looking back on it. And it's like, you know, it's on its way.
Yeah.
And I can't go back to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What does that make you think of? How do you feel about that?
Well, we're both obsessed with the fact that we're 31.
We are obsessed with it.
And I'm not dying.
No.
But it's really interesting. Like, I'm going to cry on this stupid podcast.
Realest podcast in the game, dude. We talk about the real stuff.
We talk about the real stuff. And I think this is like important for people who have never moved, and it's important for people who have always moved, like myself. Human beings crave permanence. Like, we want so badly for things to just stay as they are, even if they're bad. You know, like, people stay in bad things because they're like, I know it, it's okay, I can handle this. And yet it is inevitable that life is ever changing and completely out of our control. And we literally have no idea what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds, let alone the next 5 years. And it's such a silly thing that we really get stuck on. And this is like the first time in my life, I think, maybe besides having to move my senior year, where I'm scared. I have a really great fear of out of sight, out of mind. Because that's a lot of what I've experienced, both by witnessing it in like people's relationships and like cheating and divorce, or, you know, people growing apart, and then both in like friendships and like people that, like, you know, I would spend 3 years of my life with as a kid and then never saw again ever because I just moved. And it's like, I know that I have these friendships forever, but it's so scary when you love something so much and you have to like put distance, you know, you have to like change your routine. Like, I think about like athletes or like dancers, and I'm like slightly obsessed with, like, you're obsessed with ships passing the night. I'm obsessed with people having life alter who they are. Like, people who wanted to be a professional dancer and they get hurt once and it changes everything about them, and they can't be who they thought they were. And some people find their new selves and they're like thankful for it. And some people really struggle with that because, like, we just want things to be permanent. We want to have a sense of what's going on. And I both have no sense of what's going on, and also I'm like technically in control of like what I'm doing. And it's just, I don't know, like, chapters are like I'm reading a book of short stories because I feel like I can't invest in a book right now. And like, short stories are easier for me to escape to because I think I'm having a lot of anxiety about that ending of a chapter, which is like, I'm just kind of realizing what I just said. But I'm so thankful for everything New York gave me. And I'm so thankful for like my friends and for you. And I'm really excited, and also I'm really scared. I think it's like a really scary thing. Like, I think people really want like permanence or like legacy because it's scary to be forgotten or to like not be important to someone anymore. That's really scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Like, the most powerful thing to ask of somebody is like to be like, just please don't forget me.
Yeah, like, don't forget me.
Yeah.
Don't quit on me.
Yeah.
Don't leave me.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, move on. Don't outgrow me. Don't any of these things. Yeah.
And I think like that's what I was trying to like through tears like express, like, because you don't know. Like, I know, and I told you, like, you know how I feel about you. That doesn't change ever, regardless of distance or phone call percentage or you know, whatever, check-ins and ratios and stuff. You can't replace one person with another person. but life changes.
I mean, I think we both experienced the pandemic.
Yeah.
And like the shutting down of Shetler and like our friends moving.
Yeah.
And we both had the same feeling of like everyone's leaving and we can't have them anymore and everyone's leaving us behind and like I'll never have friends again.
Yes.
And I desperately wrote love letters to all of my friends and tried to call Dave like 17 times. And Dave was like, fine, I don't care about anything. I got to go be by myself.
Yeah,
and like
Dave was mean.
But he wasn't mean. He wasn't mean, but we both had the same trigger, I think. And then we responded differently, where I desperately tried to control everything and reach out to everyone and then disappoint myself when we weren't literally allowed to see each other and would feel left out and was scared that like people forgot about me and didn't love me anymore. Yeah. And I think you were like, this is so overwhelming and like I'm so heartbroken. I'm not available to anyone. I have to go be alone.
I was afraid like I would be not who people know me as. And so even the people who love me would be like, hey, I don't want to talk to that guy very much.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to like come out of my shell again.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's not like, oh, I don't love Tori, I won't pick up the phone. No. It's like I really want to talk to Tori about how I'm feeling, but I don't even know how I'm feeling. Yeah. Or I'm afraid that like I'll be seen as like, which is so stupid, but like weak and like
you're not so weak,
fun, not
unreliable, boring.
Right. Ugh. Silly.
When you don't feel like yourself, it's
hard to communicate. For me, it's hard to communicate.
Yeah, it's really scary to feel sad or scared or like out of it. Like, it's really unsettling.
Yeah. And the thing about you, I think I've noticed even more so the more we spent time together over the years is like just how alike we are through life experience. Yeah. And how we've decided to survive these things. Yeah. So we relate on a lot of these major things. Like you're saying you're going through, the same thing I'm going through with you leaving is like the end of a chapter for me and I'm going through it too. Yeah. And it's because of what you just said before of like the need to have permanence, the need to try to create permanence. And when it changes, it's fucking rough.
Especially if you're people who have had complete impermanence their entire lives.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think like you, myself, and Marina are really like
straight up.
And it's really interesting to find people that you. We were talking about this in the car because I got dumped, which I don't care. Whatever, that's life. Those are the risks that make life worth living. And I was talking about how like Marina, like I talked to Marina, I talked to Dave, and I'm like, anytime anything bad happens to them, I'm like, this is insane. Like, you are the greatest person. I love you so much. You're my favorite person in the world. Like, these people are not worthy of you. I can see it so obviously from the outside. I'm like, I love you so much for every part of yourself that you've shown me. That's why we have this great friendship. Like, that's why I love you. But it's so hard to know that yourself. Like, I feel like I do this with friendships and with relationships where I am just like, this is who I am. Warts and all. This is my fears, my sensitivities, my neurotic things that I do. This is also my love. This is me goofing around. These are all these things I lay it on the table. And it's just really scary when someone's like, no, thank you. And it's like, I think like as we get older, I start to realize like what relationships have stayed in my life because those people truly know me and they love me fully for that. And that's why those relationships last. But it's scary when you still aren't like used to it or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm like scared that people be like, oh, thank God she's gone. Yeah. I'm like, that's crazy. Like these are people that like I'll like visit your kids and then your grandkids and it'll be hilarious. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? Like that's really exciting to me. Those are the things I want to hold on to. Those are the things I want to look forward to.
Dude. Oh, I have something.
I want to hear what you got to say about chapters.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead. Oh man.
It about what?
She wants to hear what you have to say about chapters. Chapters of life. You're 25. You're in
a great chapter of your life. I'm sitting in this man's apartment and it is stunning and spacious.
Isn't it incredible?
It smells good and it's lovely.
I think I talked about it not last podcast, maybe a couple before, but I just recently, I mean, it's funny because I feel like it all looks put together, but I just feel so lost.
Yeah.
in terms of just living.
Yeah.
In terms of career, love, just like everything, I just feel very lost. So I'm still like just trying to work through it. So the chapter thing, I feel like I never really thought about chapters in my life anymore.
I think when your brother left, it was a big chapter that closed.
Yeah.
And you were grieving it.
Yeah. The only other like chapters I can think of is like stop playing soccer.
Yeah.
Then my
Which
brother
is a big
leaving.
deal. Yeah.
And
Those
then,
are big things.
Yeah. That's no joke when you're going through it.
Do you think it's better to like think of life as chapters like that?
I don't know, man. It's just how I've been thinking.
I wonder if that would help me. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I should like go back and like,
Bro, I wrote
You should go back and
Make a
watch your
story.
rose garden.
straight up. You should make a song about it.
we just kind of watched the. Remember last time?
Yeah, the West.
watched
We
the
West. Yeah, West.
That's funny.
Yeah, you should make a song about it, dude.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the most personal thing you talk about.
Yeah, I think I'm on a sort of a path now. So
Yeah,
I'm just trying to work
I think
through
so
it.
too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
trying to see.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I love that, dude. I have a thing I felt like needed to be said.
Okay.
There's something I was like when I heard it, I was like, whoa! It just sent like a little lightning bolt through me. Just because you're strong enough to handle the pain doesn't mean that you deserve it or deserved it. You know, feel like I'm so used to taking it that it's easy to believe, oh, that's just because I played a huge part and it's just I had it coming. But sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes life really gives you a real tough hand and you feel the pain of that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous, I think, when you grow up a certain way, taking a lot of that and saying that's just the way it is. Like I had it coming. It was too nice for too long, and
Yeah.
I kind of subconsciously, I guess, believe I deserve that.
Yeah.
And it's a nice reminder to be like, oh, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I just got dealt a shit hand this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not always, but that's, you know, it's a way of like reinforcing yourself instead of chopping away at yourself in a shitty situation. Like, you know,
you can get lost in the why, right?
Yeah. We always play a part in a thing, but it's not. It's a slippery slope. I feel like
It's a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
I think like that quote is like a really like I noticed that I was like in a pattern of saying like I can handle this.
Yeah.
I can handle this. Like it's happening to me because, you know, like the universe only gives you, God only gives you what you can handle. But I think that's like a false armor because you're in that part. The other person isn't taking responsibility. You're taking full responsibility. And you're also not recognizing that like what you're handling is really painful and probably unfair.
Yeah.
You know, like I have such a high pain tolerance physically and emotionally. And sometimes I reflect back on certain chapters of my life and I'm like, that's insane that I was like functioning, you know, and like doing things. And also like, everyone's always like, it has nothing to do with you. But I'm like, but I like held all this pain for other people. And I like exhausted myself with it. And it's like a really, it's also, I don't know. I think about like how injury prone I was as a child. And I was literally just trying to function. Like I was just trying to have a summer and I would like break my pinky, stand up, hold it above my head, walk myself home, put ice on it and then start crying and be like, I have to go to the hospital. It's definitely broken. Like I would just like hold it in or like listening to my mom recently talk about how tough she is and that she can handle things and like talking about like, you know, like I sewed my own stitches when I did this and I like reset my shoulder when it popped out and I did this and I'm like, this is all I guess like cool stuff. Like it makes us seem cool to people. But when you listen to it, it sounds like someone who was alone, who got hurt and no one was there to help her but herself.
So she had to.
And so she handled it.
Yeah.
And like part of me is like, yeah, I take so much pride in how like adaptable and like, you know, I can really take on a lot, but then there's like a big part of that where it's like, why are you handling this?
Yes.
Why are you taking this on? How do you feel about this?
Yeah.
You know, like how long are you staying in something that's hurting you? And that's just like a really hard thing. I mean, I think that's like the permanence thing too. Like you just get stuck in like this is what I know. Like I know this best. So like, I'll just do this.
Hang here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's many ways to fuck this life up, huh?
Oh yeah.
To get this thing like wrong in a lot of, I guess there's,
But like, what's the right or the wrong? Like there's some, like I bet you would meet like a functioning junkie. Like I met this artist who was a functioning crackhead, which I was like, is that a sentence? Like, is that real life? And he was just like,
crack.
He was like, I smoke crack and I sell my art and I live of my art and I live in this brownstone. And I was like, what?
But you smoke crack.
But you smoke crack. Like that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
And he was like, but I make my art
I do my thing.
and I'm happy and I like doing crack.
Yeah.
And I live in this house and I have this house and I'm fine. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. That really makes me question like what's right or wrong in this world. This guy is just like, I'm happy. I like doing it this way. And I'm like, I mean, of course, like this is like a 12-minute conversation I had with a complete stranger. So like, I don't think he's telling me everything, but you know, like there's things in the world where like the things that I think are the right way, there's things there that are not going well.
Yes.
And the things that I think are the wrong way, maybe some people are like enjoying that. Like even to the point of like, I have family members who like their entire life goal was to like be a mom. And to me, I was like, that's crazy. Like, what about your passion? Don't you want to pursue something? Don't you want to travel? Like, don't you want to know who you are? And they're like, I know who I am. I want to be a mom. And I'm like, yeah, but someone's holding you back from being yourself, right? And they're like, no. This is who I am. Yeah. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what gives me joy. And I'm like, oh, because I thought that was like repression or like you're not fulfilling your life and like you're totally fulfilled. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I have to rethink like what's the right way.
Yeah.
One thing I really
go ahead.
No, you go.
No,
you go. I want to hear it.
You really. I talked to this with my cousin actually, because my cousin was taking like a computer science course, and it's like literally just all these random little numbers and blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Fabricio?
Yeah.
Shout out
Fabricio. I think he listens. But it made me think about like especially like with my job, like that I started doing. It made me think about all the things, like when you're walking down the street and there's like, you're walking the city, there's like skyscrapers, all this stuff. It's like, who laid this brick? You know what I mean? Like who did all the like little details behind like electronics or like anything? It's like, these are all careers of people that like, I feel like society makes people think that, you know, the most fulfilling thing is becoming like a TikTok star, rapper, famous actor, like killing it, blah, blah, blah. You have all your cars and all this bullshit. But like, can't forget about all the people that literally just like make your frying pan or your range or like, these are all like people's livelihoods and lives and like makes them fulfilled. It's like, they don't, like they could care less about how many followers they have or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's all like a guise. You know what I mean? The whole like social thing. Yeah. And made me like realize that. I'm like, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, it's dangerous, right? Yeah, because you love music.
Yeah.
So a part of that, if you want to follow your passion, you see when you look at artists you listen to, some of them have hundreds of thousands of followers. Yeah. And fucking Bentleys and Rolls Royces. Bentleys. And everyone wants to.
Sorry, I just had to throw that out.
Bentley's. And everyone has like, wants to get a fucking picture with them. So do you fantasize about that? Or does that have nothing to do with the music stuff?
No, nothing.
See, so that's a good understanding of what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's dangerous because the more successful you get following your passion, that may attach itself to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But it's beautiful to know you don't want
that. No, I just think it's scary for like younger people that like want or like finding like, oh, well, maybe I like doing this or something.
I think it's that all that stuff is based in like, I just want to be accepted and loved so bad.
Yeah.
And that's like what it looks like on the outside.
The top.
You're fucking accepted and loved by everybody. Yeah. So a lot of people buy in when you're a kid. And you're like, dude, I want people to love me. Yeah. I want to be like, oh wow, he's special or she's special.
Yeah.
Everybody
feels wants to be special.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, it's not, I mean, I love that like Jim Carrey quote where he's always like, I wish everyone could be rich and famous so they can see that it doesn't bring you anything.
Yeah.
You know, like they're like we were talking about like, you know, relationships and all that stuff when we were driving here. And I was like, Adele got dumped. Adele.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adele.
All right.
Like
It happens.
full power, beauty,
Diva.
strength.
Yes.
Adele. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Beyonce got cheated on.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Kanye got dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like those people get so much hate. They get so much hate. And that always stands out to them more than the good.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to be accepted no matter where you're at. And it's, you know, I think like I really worry about like what I really worry about these kids these days because I really do worry about social media. Like it, like you really can't like little, like I remember I shot this movie this summer and I had a daughter in the movie. So I played mom for like 4 days straight for this 5-year-old. And she had merch from a YouTube star who's a kid who gets paid to test toys. And I was like,
Wait.
what did you just say? I don't wait.
Someone's
This
playing
is
with the toys.
a child who probably isn't really making decisions. There are some kids who are like super awake and you're like, whoa, like Haley Joel Osment is like an adult in a child's body. But I would say most kids are just kids.
Yeah.
And someone in their life is saying, we're making money off of this. So you're going to get all these toys and you're going to test them out and you're going to have a YouTube channel. And millions of children and families are watching this to the point that this child who just plays with toys on YouTube has merch that another child wants. Like I wanted moon boots like the Spice Girls when I was little.
Whoa.
That's crazy to me. Like that's really crazy to me. I like part of me wants to look at it and be like, wow, you can really do whatever you want. Like, you know, like look at the opportunity, like go be who you want to be. That's our generation. But it also freaks me out because a lot of it is so like we are so hyper aware of likes and dislikes and followers and this and like did I post today and what's the right time to post and and building your brand and like that is such a big part of our world right now, especially after spending almost 2 years in our homes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like it's really crazy.
Yeah.
And it's purposely addictive. And I'm like, what is it actually doing to our brains? Like everyone was like worried about cell phones. Like I remember like people being like, I can feel the signal that comes off of a cell phone. And I was like, damn, okay, that's crazy. Yeah. They were like,
brain.
I can feel like it makes me nauseous. And I'm like, whoa, well, that's wild. But like, maybe you're eccentric. I don't know. But I can feel when I'm in a bad place and I'm rabbit holing through Instagram and I have to take a break. I can feel what it does to me, the addiction of it. Like I can feel it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That worries me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you just see things that are, there's so many like scandals right now. I was telling Dave about like the YouTube space because I like YouTube and stuff. And like there's so many just awful like things happening with like even like that the kids like making videos and stuff. It's like it's insane to have a child like making money for like a family.
Yeah,
For a
it's
family.
rough.
Like I saw this family on YouTube, or maybe it was Instagram. I don't know. I saw it because I was like, oh, this kid's hilarious. And this kid was like being like dancing. And I was like, that's hilarious. Look at this 2-year-old dancing like that. And then I clicked on her thing and looked at it. And then I saw this whole page and it's a Instagram famous family and they get money for being on Instagram and they post funny videos. And I was like, this is a fake family.
Yeah.
This isn't real. Like this is a real, like they're interacting with each other like scripted television. Like this is so crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. And like
bananas.
each generation of their kid is like a new character in this sitcom of their life. And I'm like, whoa, this is, imagine being like 2 years old and they're like, you're the dancing funny one. And then like the older one's like the fashion one. And then this, and I'm like, where do you get to decide who you guys are as people to each other? Like that's so wild.
How do we market
It's
you
like
guys?
sacrificing like so much.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know, especially for like families and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
like those years, I don't know. I can't imagine like
You don't get them back.
where do you go
Yeah.
from there
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
when you're older? You know what I mean?
And you think you're going to remember them because you're like filming them. But I just watched a movie where I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine being like, okay, little tyke, my love, my blood.
Yeah.
Like, get in front of this camera and fucking
Yeah.
Sell this product.
Yeah.
Come on, hold it.
Yeah.
But like, do it again.
Do it again, but like this is the funny beat right here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't imagine that.
Even like the child stars and stuff. Like I remember seeing recently the girl from iCarly, Jeanette McCurdy. She broke away from the whole thing because her mom or something like abused her and like made her go in the whole system. Whoa. And all this shit. And she like distanced herself from her whole family because they like ended up like being like angry at her and all this shit.
Yeah. It's a money train.
And she started this whole thing. She's like all this like therapy stuff and like she talks about all like the child star stuff. It's insane.
That's awesome.
It's really wild. It's really wild.
Would you want to be a child star?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
It's scary.
I wanted to ask you, how did you feel? Because when we just watched it, we're in our mid-20s. We're thinking like all kinds of stuff back then, right? Like I realized like I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I think I was thinking this.
Yeah.
Or I was like thinking this specifically about acting.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, that's here. And then
this is the rest of it.
God, display your hand.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And then I'm Tori.
Yeah,
That's my name.
yes,
but
yes.
first I'm an actor.
Yeah, just in case anyone wants
Like
to
on
know.
my gravestone, it'll say actor.
Yeah.
Victoria Ratermanis, dead. Buried here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Daughter.
Died on stage.
Yeah. Died doing her greatest acting ever. It was a death
World
scene.
renowned.
She did it honestly.
yeah. Yes.
Actor.
But as you know, like through experience, like chasing this dream, there's a lot of no's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people saying like, also there's a lot of us like getting ourselves ready, preparing for these projects.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go great, and a lot of the times they don't.
Well, you end up talking like a little baby.
Here we go.
Oh, what are you doing here?
You did not talk like a
I've been seen
baby.
it so long.
I'm really proud of that film.
I'm proud of it too. I just like can't stand to watch 26-year-old Tori be like chopping celery.
No, but like what you were thinking then, I want to know how it's different now specifically about acting, because you're coming off of like doing 2 films. You did a feature film recently. You did another couple films over the summer, right?
Yeah.
This past year.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel you're still in pursuit or living this passion? You know, how do you feel about it? How's it changed? Or if it's changed, or is it the same?
Actor, Tori, life.
Friend.
I mean, I think I think I'm like, we are now at an age where things are shifting.
Yeah.
Like almost all of my friends are married. I'm sure in the next couple of years they'll have kids. This is your son.
What the fuck?
You are the father.
He will have kids first.
You know, like a lot of like life is happening. Like people are talking about buying houses and like doing things, and I'm still single and being like, I'm gonna be an actor and a director and a filmmaker, and I'm gonna fucking kill it. But I also like think that like I have, it's on less of a pedestal. I'm enjoying it again. And I feel like I am more capable, and I also think I understand it and like the business better. And sometimes I like kick myself for like figuring it out in my 30s rather than like when I was 18.
For sure.
Because everybody wants like a young teen drama right now.
Oh, come on.
You know, I'm a Swedish
That's
man.
all I wanted.
I'm like a 6-foot Swedish man. And they're like, how do we hire this woman?
So rewind that. She says she calls herself a 6-foot Swedish man.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know about
I
Tori.
would be your best boyfriend.
Oh man.
But like, you know, like I just, you know, like there are things that like I'm scared of. I'm like, you know, it is such a tug of war to love something so deeply and to think about it and to get like life from it when you're doing it. Like I love the homework. I love the doing of it. I love, you know, like even right now I'm like banging my head against the wall trying to write a script, but I'm like, I also love it. Like I love coming up with these ideas. My imagination is full of crazy shit. And like, I love it. I love it so much. It's what I want to do with my life. Whether that happens or not, I have no idea. But there are a lot of sacrifices to it. Like I work at a grocery store, you know what I mean? Like I'm not as much as my mom wants me to, I don't know what I'm doing about retirement. Like I spent a good part of this year unemployed and living off of the government, which was crazy. And like everyone else was doing it too. But I was also like, I don't have the job that a lot of my friends have. I'm not working from home. My imagination career is shut down right now. I don't know. It's like a push and pull. Like I both feel that I am living my life because I'm growing and experiencing and living for myself and loving and making friends and like doing all of that stuff. But I'm also still like deeply like top of the list is acting. And like I used to say like I felt so lucky to know what I wanted to do with my life because I would watch people when I was younger, like my younger brother, like not know and like really struggle because of it. But now I kind of am like sometimes like this is both a blessing and a curse because I deeply want to do this thing and I can't think about doing anything else. But like it's also like kind of not up to me sometimes to even be able to do it. Like it's a crazy thing to be like, I'm all in, baby, and like move to LA. Like, it's just like it's exhilarating because I'm living for myself and I'm living my life and I'm pursuing my passion and I'm learning and growing and becoming a better person within that world and a better artist with each thing that I do and each year that I live. But yeah, like I'm not like marriage and kids and a house are not the top of my list.
Yeah.
Like I want to go travel and I want to do things, but then I have an audition or I book a film or like I sacrifice a weekend for filming so that I can then work the next 2 weeks straight and I don't get to see anybody. And it's like, it can be isolating, but it can also be thrilling. And like, I don't know. I think I assume, like as much as we're like selfish actors, we love to talk about ourselves. I assume that most other careers are kind of like this, where you're like, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to work really hard. But most other careers also like your hard work starts to pay off
real quickly.
And I assume most of those other jobs involve promotion and healthcare and benefits and like a sense of stability. Like to be an artist is to live in instability, to live in impermanence as much as I crave it.
Yes.
To just relinquish control and have like a weird blind faith and be like, cool, I just love this. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go do it. Which is insane.
Yeah.
We're crazy people.
For sure.
Like I shot this werewolf movie. It was my first like on location for 2 weeks, lead of a feature film. I was like, okay, don't mess this up, dude. And like rehearsed with you and everything. I spent like 9 hours straight in total fight or flight mode, fighting for my life and crying and killing this person wolf thing and running with full terror in my heart. Like they weren't even shooting me running up the staircase and I had to run it and close the door and lock it every time because if he caught me I'd be dead. Like thoroughly believe this. For 9 hours my eyes were the most swollen I've ever seen them after we finished filming. I was physically exhausted. I think I breathed in so much like mist that they were pumping in there that I like gave myself lung cancer. Like my stomach hurt from it and I was like couldn't calm down and I was in the shower smiling. That's insane.
That's passion.
But that's insane. Like I was thoroughly scared for my life and fighting for my life. And I was like, I can't scream. I wonder if I'll do well in this movie. And I was like, like from like the depth of my like stomach, like terrified. Shout out Kris Jenner who like looked at my face as I looked at him in actual fear that he was going to kill me. And yeah, afterwards I was like laughing.
Yeah.
I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane behavior. Being an actor and being an artist is kind of insanity.
But it's interesting what you're saying. Like, it's insane to you know what you want. You're passionate about it. You found it. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the world says, not right now.
Yeah, a lot of people go like, you're really tall. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like, if you're a proficient carpenter, you're gonna book a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Tori's a proficient, if Tori's a proficient actor, her success rate on booking a job is for everyone is so small. Yeah. And then of it being a hit, like something that people say, dang, like let's work with her again. Mm-hmm. Like we have to edit our own reels. Like we have to market ourselves. Mm-hmm. We have to go find the agents. Like the game has changed in such a significant way. I think that I know I love acting. Mm-hmm. That is when I'm most in my element. Mm-hmm. The most I know I'm here for that reason, and there's nothing I enjoy doing more because it's based around human connection and exposing it, being vulnerable, right, and sharing and doing things like together. That is, telling story with people is the top of the mountain for me. Work wise, we all have to do a job. That's the job I want to do, and that's the job I'll continue to try to do. But I think I just refused recently to be like told you have scars or you're too tall or I don't even know what. Mm-hmm. I was signing up for stories I didn't even believe in because I want a job so bad.
Yeah.
And so that's like when I was like, wait a second, what am I doing? I just want to tell a story so bad.
Yeah.
So like in this chapter, mm-hmm. it's been build a thing your own, and that's where you can be most proficient doing what you love to do. It may not happen.
Yeah.
Like you may not even get there.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Which is really scary.
Yeah. But it's like.
It's really scary because I don't want, I wouldn't wish fame on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish trying to eat a meal and having people like take pictures of you. Like that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
And so isolating. But man, like if I could be in some of the films and TV shows that are out right now.
No. Tori's the dopest, and you're stupid if you didn't fucking cast her. That's so silly. For real.
Yeah,
that's
Hollywood,
silly.
listen to him.
It's just silly. It just drives me nuts.
Job.
It just drives me fucking crazy.
Like if I could be on Succession, if I could be Cousin Greg's love interest and we could see actual tall people on screen.
Mm-hmm. What, tall people don't exist in real life? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Give Cousin Greg, I have to put something out there in the world.
Go ahead.
And you're going to get a lot of comments about this.
Do it.
As a 5'11" woman, there's nothing more infuriating than a man who's 6 foot plus and dating a woman like 5'6" and under. If Cousin Greg gets a love interest,
yes,
that is some petite little pocket-sized girlfriend, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Like Selena Gomez walks up in that.
If some like hello, like has to like
yeah.
And
the height thing's a weird thing.
How are you?
The height thing's always a weird thing. Because you're right. A lot of bigger guys like small women.
And it makes me crazy.
It's a thing. It is a thing.
People pulling through stop signs, tall men dating short girls.
Yes.
What else do I know?
Yeah,
like,
there's
people
a lot.
cutting in line.
It's injustice.
Don't like the injustice
This
of it.
is injustice.
I have a problem with injustice.
Yeah.
Really petty injustice. I have a problem with really petty injustice.
Why is it?
Like when people give me cash because that they're like tipping me, but they're just really giving me coins they don't want in their pocket.
Oh, just disposing of.
And I'm like, if you knew how much time and effort went
and
into
they say
me
keep the change,
keeping up with my coffee orders, marking the dates on them, weighing out each of these jars and filling them up every time I make coffee, making sure there's always hot coffee here for you, pulling out the right size, remembering your order, talking to you nicely at 7:30 in the morning and giving you this coffee, and you just tip me 13 cents.
and they show up their tiny girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they have a tiny girl.
Ugh, infuriating. Not that I have anything against tiny women. My best friend, Katie Barbary, pocket-sized best friend.
Shout out.
Sweetest, most beautiful tiny girl. Tall boyfriend. Tall husband.
Is he tall?
He's tall.
How tall is he?
We don't gotta give him a tall.
Tori, for real, how tall is he? 6 foot? Maybe?
I think he's 6.
He's 5'11".
Adam Louder's gonna get a little bit louder.
5'11", 6 foot. It's tall.
For a louder,
I feel like
pretty
he's
quiet.
6'1".
I can't tell.
You can't tell when you look deeply into his eyes.
I thought when he was here though, I was kind of like,
You were looking down.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
You were looking down a little bit. The
No, I
bridge
mean,
of his nose is at your
yeah.
lips.
He'd be my tiny girlfriend.
Oh,
Oh my god.
he's gonna be enraged.
Next episode is gonna be real.
We just had him on last week. He's gotta wait now.
I know. He's like on the video camera looking up.
He's gonna wait another month.
It's me, Adam Louder.
Dang.
I'm sorry, Adam. I love
Sorry, Adam. We love you.
So much shade just thrown at this poor man in Texas,
always-
just trying to live his life.
Part of me loves to know he's listening
You
right now.
love him.
And
can you feel the sensation of him hearing you talk like this?
I'm literally going
you
through
can
that.
picture him like,
Just biting his lip and just fucking no, yeah, just launching out of the fucking chair.
yeah.
Yeah, he's calling me right now, probably.
Yeah, he probably is actually.
As you listen to this.
Yeah, you can feel it. He's sitting in Texas going,
Yeah. Yeah.
huh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this, I don't know. You know, is she ever going to be in studio again?
I'm scared.
We don't know.
You guys gotta come out to LA.
Maybe.
That's true.
Do a West Coast.
You
You guys
wanted
should
to
do like
do
a
that?
tour.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Do a live show.
You know what?
We get a certain amount of patrons, we'll do it.
Patreon.com.
Yeah, you know, we can't just be flying around like that.
Yeah.
It's the holidays.
Go post holidays when it's cheap. Yeah. Do a flight watch.
Yeah, but I guess how do you feel right now, like as this episode's coming to a close? Like, what would you tell future Tori? Mm-hmm. I guess, like, who's listening?
Yeah.
What would you say?
First, I have so much anxiety that we're about to end this episode now because it's like another thing ending.
we don't
like
have to,
really
but,
we're just
just
gonna
keep
talk
rolling
for
till the
7
plane.
hours
Yeah,
straight
till the
until we're like
Yeah.
until we run out of water.
I got a lot of water left in the jug.
I would tell future Tori. I'm gonna go Barbara, future Tori.
Okay.
Barbara is my therapist. I'm in love with her. You are a capable adult with adult resources going through adult situations. Sounds like porn. That's not what I'm saying.
She doesn't mean that.
And you get scared that you're still that little kid dealing with adult situations with child resources. And I promise you, you've got this. Now go pick up Quinn and kiss her on the mouth. And it's going to be okay. And like 5 seconds ago, I just looked into Dave's eyes and he was like, we're friends forever. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
We're going to do an LA podcast.
Yes, we will. We will. Let me just say, off of watching the movie again, going through this podcast, talking about chapters, thank you for being my friend. Thank you for believing or just trusting enough to open up and share with me and with Mike. These past few years have been awesome. I can't say enough words about how much I've enjoyed like rehearsing and trying like to do things and, you know, swinging in life. And like, you know, just really, I've learned a lot about myself with our friendship, and I haven't had a creative partner ever in life before in that kind of way. And you are that person in this chapter and hopefully in future ones. Like, but I just want to say thank you for being my friend and trusting me. And, yeah, just give me so much of your time. I love you, and I wish you the absolute fucking best in LA. And like, yeah, just thanks for being my friend. Thank you.
Now I want to say,
yes.
even though it might not seem like you're leaving a lot, you have a lot of love here. Always at the You Are Here podcast, and a lot of people here that live in New York and all around. I'm in Jersey. You got one person in Jersey at least.
Yeah.
This couch is a pullout.
And I know
I'm going to move in. This is a great apartment.
I'm glad I got to meet you from Dave and you being able to come out for the podcast. Dave and just a random dude from Jersey going in a weird middle of the woods, probably going to murder you place. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for...
I was like, where are we?
Yeah, thank you for... I don't know.
Trust.
I'm glad I got to meet you, so thank you.
I'm so glad I got to meet you. I'm so proud of you guys and what you've done. I mean, I say this literally every time I see you, but I don't think you understand the honor and dedication to being consistent. Like that is the greatest gift you give your audience, to each other, and to yourselves. Consistency. That is like so empowering, and it takes a lot to do that and to grow on this podcast in front of all your Patreons and people. And like it's
countless Patreons.
The millions of people donating to this and buying merch in the future. But like it's just really impressive. And I think like sometimes we get so swept up in what we're looking forward to and what we think we should be doing that we forget to take inventory of all that we've done. And like one thing I'm like taking to LA is like I'm not starting from ground zero. I'm starting from where I am now and everything I've accumulated for myself.
Yes.
So congratulations to you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Tori.
giving us this platform to watch and listen and talk. It's really great.
You're welcome back anytime.
LA edition.
LA edition. Sunshine.
Yes.
We'll do it on the beach.
Yes, that'd be great.
In Venice. Any shout outs before we go? Anyone you want to shout out?
I mean, I want to shout out like every person I love, but I feel like that would really be like one of those roll credits where I'm like still talking, be like Marina, Katie,
The music's
Carlotta,
playing,
my
we're playing the
mom,
music.
Connor, Quinn. I will say, if you find yourself in Greenpoint, go check out Eddie's Grocer on Eckford and Meserole. I've worked there. I helped him open the store from the beginning of the pandemic. He is a small business. He is the most driven person I've met, and he's an amazing chef, and I'm really excited to see where he goes. I'll miss working there, but if you want comfort food and good coffee and like really nice people and access to Middle Eastern food that you really can't get in New York, which is kind of wild, then go to Eddie's Grocer. Like shout out like small business starting the pandemic and like someone building themselves their dreams. Like I get to watch someone like be successful in his craft, and it's really exciting, and the food is insanely good. So good.
Hell yeah.
Hummus is great.
So good.
It was.
I love it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Anything else, Dave?
Shout out Eddie's. No. I love you.
No shout outs? Nothing?
No shout outs. Shout out you guys.
Shout out you guys.
Love you guys.
Shout out stop signs. Stop before them.
Hey,
Yeah, if you're in the city, you better stop.
shout out
They're
Shout
for a
out the
reason.
dude
Don't roll through
at
that.
Camelback. I'm sorry.
It's episode 149 of the podcast. You already know. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube video, Anchor.fm, www.yourbestco. We can afford the M.
The M.
Boom. Shout out to the patrons. You already know if you want to support us. Patreon.com/YouAreHerePod.
We love you guys.
My name is Mike. Signing out.
My name's Dave. Please be kind to one another and say hi to somebody today.
My name is Victoria, and I love you all, and thank you for being here.
Bang.
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go.